pausing and looking at his men and realizing that those words might not do it, he then said, "Follow me." And he moved out, hoping it had the desired effect. And as reported by eyewitnesses that day, his battalion rose as one, and follow him they did. And sometimes that's all our soldiers need. When things get chaotic, ugly, confused, and these conditions don't necessarily need or mean there's gunfire around, it could be any bad situation. When all seems lost, that's when we, leaders of men and women, have to stand up and say, "Follow me." The other now not so famous thing Red Newman is known for is his lifelong mentorship and coaching. He mentored hundreds of young leaders personally, but reached thousands, hundreds of thousands with his writings. If you have never read the Follow Me series, they're small books. Sometimes you can find them in a clothing sales store back home. Follow Me 1, 2, and 3. You should. They're short, chapter-length vignettes on leadership that still hold true today. Often humorous. They're fun to read. It should be mandatory for officers, in my opinion. But the bottom line of what I'm trying to say is this. As Red Newman climbed to the ranks of general officer, all along the way, he took the time to pass on what he learned, including describing his own mistakes in the most humble manner. And mistakes are what we learn the most from, I think. I call it scar tissue. And his intent for all that extra individual effort in coaching, counseling, and mentoring that consumed his personal time, and all of you know how much time that takes from you to do that, he knew that for the good of the institution, for the good of the Army, he needed to lift as he climbed. He needed to reach back down to those behind him and pull the good ones forward, the ones who might listen to his tips so they could learn from his techniques, his mistakes, and his successes. He was saying in a very humble way to those who would listen, "Follow me." He was that kind of selfless leader who put himself last, except when something needed to be done. Who he was defined what he did. So today we look to the ideal of Red Newman and draw two things from it. When you're faced with a bad situation, lead the attack to get out of it, and lift as you climb. So teammates, look at two examples of our ideals. Help us fine-tune who we are. Lord knows I am an imperfect man. I know I need fine-tuning frequently. And reading about, hearing about great examples of character and integrity and self-discipline that overcame obstacles keeps me on course and helps me in tough times. And I'll tell you what, just being with you all here today and seeing these awardees all reminds me of the things that are really important. And this helps me do maintenance on who I am and gives me a huge shot of chest-thumping pride to serve with you. And as Audie Murphy and Red Newman remind us, who we are defines what we will do. And so I'd ask all of you to look at yourselves after this experience today, an experience we all could have blown off, not done, seen as too much trouble. But you know, some things you just don't stop doing. So never miss an opportunity to remind yourselves you're all American soldiers and leaders. It's not in you to ever quit anything. You can do anything. And when in doubt, lead the attack. But never forget to lift as you climb. So thanks for listening, and rock of the mark.
Thank you, sir, for those words of wisdom and your continued support of the non-commissioned officers. The Sergeant Body Rookie Club is established to recognize non-commissioned officers who set the standards for leadership and excellence. Please remain seated during the reading of the Sergeant Audie Murphy.
When a soldier thinks of what leadership characteristics make a Sergeant Audie Murphy non-commissioned officer, the Army values come to mind. Sergeant Espina possesses and practices all of these values and characteristics every day. She doesn't hesitate to stand up for her soldiers and help them succeed. Not only has she proven that her subordinates can count on her, but her leaders as well. In the end, it's not about what she has done, but about who she is. That is why Sergeant Espina is my Sergeant Audie Murphy.
All inductees will also receive an Audie Murphy Club medallion, a Force Com certificate of achievement signed by the Force Com commander, and the Sergeant Audie Murphy Club official card. At this time, we would like to recognize the following non-commissioned officers who were chosen for induction into the Sergeant Audie Murphy Club but could not be here today due to reappointment. Sergeant First Class Justine L. Sanders, Headquarters of Headquarters Company, Special Troops Battalion, 1-1 Armored Division. Sergeant First Class Alex Martinez, 16th Engineer Company, 3-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team. Staff Sergeant Nathaniel Cummings, Charlie Company, 2-6 296 Brigade Support Battalion, 3-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team. Staff Sergeant Joseph F. Spicer, Bravo Battery, 114 Cavalry, 3-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team. Sergeant Matthew M. Soto, 1-9 Field Artillery, 2-3 Heavy Brigade Combat Team. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a well-deserved round of applause for these outstanding non-commissioned officers. At this time, Major General Cucolo and Command Sergeant Major Andrews will make a presentation of the Major General Aubrey Red Newman Awards. The Major General Aubrey Red Newman Award was established exclusively to promote subordinate leader development by recognizing those mid-grade leaders who excel in mentoring, coaching, and counseling. For outstanding achievement in the development of subordinates, their dedicated and innovative approach to developing their subordinates to be better members of the team improve their performance, and prepare them well for the future. They uniquely understood that subordinates development came in many forms and was more than just a monthly session to be an administrative requirement. They exercised every opportunity to develop members of their team. Their extraordinary ability to teach, coach, and mentor, while simultaneously providing oversight and motivation, provided an optimal environment for the subordinate to identify weaknesses, set goals, and develop plans of action. Consequently, their team developed into an integral part of the unit's readiness and mission accomplishment. Each awardee will receive Major General Aubrey Red Newman Medallion and Headquarters United States Army Forces Command Major General Aubrey Red Newman Certificate. Please hold all applause until all awardees have been recognized. Sergeant First Class Daniel P. Bergen, Headquarters and Headquarters Battery, 141 Field Artillery, 1-3 Advise and Assist Brigade. Sergeant First Class Joseph English, Foxtrot Company, 2-7 Infantry, 1-3 Advise and Assist Brigade. Sergeant First